Cooperation and collaboration. I want to share with you the essential concepts of cooperation and collaboration in the workplace, two fundamental aspects that greatly influence the success of any organization. This module on cooperation and collaboration is designed to help you understand how these principles work together to create a productive, harmonious work environment. By mastering the art of working together, you can enhance your contribution to your team, improve relationships with colleagues, and achieve greater success in your professional life. Cooperation. Cooperation involves working with others by providing information, resources, or assistance that enables them to accomplish their tasks. It's about contributing to the collective effort by ensuring that your part of the work complements the efforts of your team members. Cooperation is a conscious act that requires you to think beyond your own responsibilities and consider the needs of others in your organization. Understanding cooperation is critical because it fosters a supportive work environment where everyone works towards common goals. By being cooperative, you help create a culture of mutual respect and trust, which is essential for the smooth functioning of any organization. On the other hand, a lack of cooperation can lead to inefficiencies, misunderstandings, and a breakdown in team dynamics, ultimately hindering the achievement of organizational objectives. Collaboration. Collaboration is about working together directly with others to achieve a shared goal. It involves a coordinated effort where each person's contribution is integral to the success of the project. Collaboration requires active participation, communication, and a willingness to share responsibility with others. It's about building on each other's strengths to create something greater than what could be achieved individually. The ability to collaborate effectively is vital because it drives innovation, improves problem solving, and enhances the overall quality of work. Collaboration encourages a sense of ownership and accountability among team members, leading to better outcomes. However, without a collaborative mindset, projects can suffer from miscommunication, duplicated efforts, and a lack of cohesion, which can ultimately lead to failure. Subconscious patterns, cooperation, collaboration. Your natural tendencies and subconscious patterns play a significant role in how you approach cooperation and collaboration. This section explores key patterns such as your views, general versus specific, work preferences, together, proximity, solo, operational style, options versus procedures, and reference, internal versus external. Understanding these patterns helps you recognize your strengths and areas for improvement in working with others. Recognizing and adjusting these subconscious patterns is important because they influence how effectively you can cooperate and collaborate with your colleagues. By becoming aware of your natural inclinations, you can develop strategies to work better with others, ensuring that your contributions are aligned with the needs of your team. Ignoring these patterns can lead to friction, misunderstandings, and a lack of synergy in collaborative efforts. Hierarchy in organizations. Hierarchy within organizations can significantly impact cooperation and collaboration. This section discusses how hierarchy at different levels, business units, departments, and teams can either facilitate or hinder collaborative efforts. It also addresses the challenges posed by competition within hierarchical structures and the importance of fostering a culture that values interdependence over individual ambitions. Understanding the influence of hierarchy is crucial for navigating the complexities of organizational dynamics. By recognizing how hierarchy affects collaboration, you can better position yourself to contribute positively within your team and organization. Failure to acknowledge these dynamics can lead to power struggles, reduced cooperation, and a fragmented work environment where individual goals overshadow collective success. Competition and career. While healthy competition can drive personal growth and excellence, competition within a team or department can be counterproductive. This section emphasizes the importance of focusing on self-improvement rather than competing with others. It also redefines the concept of a career, highlighting the importance of quality of life and positive relationships over job titles and status. Embracing a cooperative and collaborative approach to your career is essential for long-term success and fulfillment. By focusing on being helpful, smart, and supportive, you create an environment where others enjoy working with you, leading to a more satisfying professional life. Conversely, excessive competition can create a toxic work environment, eroding trust and damaging relationships, which can ultimately hinder your career growth. This module emphasizes the importance of cooperation and collaboration in the workplace, providing a comprehensive understanding of how these principles contribute to personal and organizational success. It encourages you to develop the skills and mindset needed to work effectively with others, while also recognizing the potential challenges posed by hierarchical structures and competition.
I've always believed that working well with others isn't just a corporate mandate. It's a mindset that can really transform your day-to-day experience at work. In my experience, cooperation is all about working together by sharing what you know and lending a hand so that everyone can contribute to solving parts of a bigger challenge. I've seen that when people willingly share their resources or expertise, it not only lightens the load, but also sparks creative solutions you might never have come up with on your own. I've noticed that cooperation often requires a shift in perspective. Instead of focusing solely on our own needs, it means making a conscious effort to support our teammates. It's like saying, "I've got your back," and truly believing that together we can achieve more. I find that when everyone is open to this, the workplace becomes a space where ideas flow more freely and problems are tackled with a shared sense of purpose. Similarly, collaboration has been one of those game changers in my career. I've experienced how working side by side with someone, splitting tasks, brainstorming together, and even just bouncing ideas off each other creates a synergy that's hard to replicate when you're working alone. It's not just about dividing the work. It's about creating a dynamic where every contribution matters and where the energy of the group lifts each individual effort. What really stands out to me is how easily these two can be overshadowed by an unhealthy dose of competition. I've seen situations where too much focus on competing with one another ends up fostering an environment of distrust rather than camaraderie. In my view, the healthiest kind of competition is the one where you're challenging yourself to be better than you were yesterday, rather than constantly comparing yourself to others. Over the years, I've learned then that a lot of the conflict or stress we sometimes feel at work comes from these counterproductive attitudes. I've found that by redefining what success means, by valuing team wins over individual accolades, you can build a culture where everyone feels like a valued part of the team. Breaking down silos and encouraging open communication have been key strategies for me, and I've seen them work wonders in creating a more supportive and innovative workplace. At the end of the day, I truly believe that embracing both cooperation and collaboration isn't just about getting the job done. It's about creating an environment where every day feels meaningful and where the collective energy of the group drives everyone forward. I've found that when you focus less on competing with your colleagues and more on growing together, the benefits extend far beyond work tasks. They enhance overall well-being and spark a creative spirit that can turn everyday challenges into opportunities. In my experience, cooperation is so much more than just working together. It's a mindset and a way of being that transforms our day-to-day interactions. I've learned that at its core, cooperation starts with a shift in how we think. It means moving away from a me-first mentality and genuinely embracing a we approach. I've seen that when you truly believe that everyone's contribution matters, you naturally become more willing to share what you know and offer help without being asked. When it comes to mindset, I've found that it's all about being open, curious, and supportive. I remind myself every day that every challenge is easier to tackle when we pool our strengths. This means actively choosing to set aside personal biases or the urge to work in isolation, and instead focusing on how I can contribute to a larger goal. Over time, this shift in mindset creates a ripple effect. When I approach tasks with a cooperative spirit, it often encourages others to do the same. Behaviorally, cooperation shows up in the little things we do every day. I've noticed that being cooperative isn't just about the big strategic decisions. It's about everyday actions. For example, taking a moment to listen attentively, offering a suggestion during a meeting, or simply checking in with a colleague can build trust and create a supportive atmosphere. I've caught myself in moments when I was tempted to take on too much alone, only to realize that reaching out or sharing a resource made the task smoother and more enjoyable for everyone involved. I also believe that developing a cooperative attitude is an ongoing journey. I make it a point to reflect on my interactions and ask myself if there's a better way to support my teammates. Whether it's through informal chats or structured feedback sessions, I've seen that a little self-awareness and willingness to adjust our behaviors can lead to a more harmonious and productive work environment. In my view, the real power of cooperation lies in those everyday choices that gradually build a culture of mutual respect and collective achievement. Ultimately, I've found that embracing both the right mindset and positive behaviors in cooperation not only makes our work more effective, but also more meaningful. When we each commit to being supportive and open, we create a space where everyone feels valued, a space where challenges turn into opportunities for growth and success. In my experience, there are clear moments when cooperation makes all the difference, and others when true collaboration is the key to success. Let me share a few examples from my time working in engineering consulting. Take, for instance, a project where our geotechnical engineers need to provide soil data to our structural team. In this case, I've seen cooperation at its best. Each team member focuses on their own area. The geotechnical team gathers and shares precise data, and the structural engineers use that information to design safe foundations. They're not merging their work, they're simply supporting each other by exchanging essential details. On the other hand, when we're tasked with designing a sustainable commercial building, that's where collaboration really shines. In one project, our architects, structural engineers, mechanical engineers, and even our environmental specialists came together in a series of joint workshops. Instead of working in isolation, we brainstormed as one cohesive unit, discussing everything from energy efficiency and material choices to structural integrity. Here, collaboration wasn't just about sharing data. It was about blending our expertise to create a design that none of us could have achieved alone. Another example comes from our electrical and IT departments. Often, our electrical engineers will develop innovative ideas for smart power distribution. Initially, there might be a phase of cooperation where they share technical specifications with the IT team. But when the challenge becomes integrating a seamless smart building system, both teams set aside their individual roles and work side by side, discussing every detail, troubleshooting issues together, and ultimately creating an integrated solution. That shift from simply exchanging information to jointly crafting a solution is what I consider true collaboration. I've also seen situations where our mechanical engineers might cooperate with our environmental experts by providing data on energy consumption for specific HVAC systems. They each complete their part independently, yet their combined input drives the project forward. But then, when we're faced with a major design overhaul, say when a client asks for a cutting-edge, energy-efficient design, we switch gears. All involved disciplines, from civil and structural to mechanical and electrical, come together in design charrettes to hash out ideas, evaluate options, and decide on the best path forward. That's a perfect example of collaboration, where every perspective is merged into one integrated plan. In my view, knowing when to simply share information and when to actively blend ideas is key. Cooperation lets us leverage the specialized knowledge of each discipline without blurring our individual strengths, while collaboration allows us to create innovative, holistic solutions by working together more intimately. Over the years, I've found that these cross-disciplinary interactions, whether cooperative or collaborative, are what truly drive a project's success and foster a dynamic, supportive work environment. Let me share some more practical examples from my experience where process and instrumentation disciplines really make a difference. One common scenario is during the design phase of a process plant. I've seen that the process engineer outlines the overall flow, specifying parameters like flow rates, temperatures, and pressures needed for safe and efficient operation. At the same time, the instrumentation engineer steps in to ensure the right sensors and control systems are in place to monitor those parameters accurately. In these moments, cooperation is key. Each specialist works on their own part, yet they consistently exchange information to make sure everything aligns. Another example comes during control loop design. I remember a project where the process engineer developed a control strategy for a distillation column. The process side needed continuous measurements of composition to optimize separation, and the instrumentation team was responsible for selecting and calibrating the right analyzers. In my experience, this is where collaboration shines. Both disciplines sat down together, discussed the challenges, and even reevaluated design parameters in real time to fine-tune the control loops. This joint effort not only improved the design, but also helped anticipate potential issues during operation. I've also seen that during startup and commissioning, the interaction between these two disciplines is crucial. For example, as the plant comes online, the process engineer checks that the process conditions are met, while the instrumentation engineer verifies that all sensors and control devices are performing as expected. They often conduct joint tests, troubleshooting together if a sensor doesn't respond quickly enough or if there's a delay in the control system. In my experience, this close collaboration minimizes downtime and sets the stage for a smooth, safe operation. In another project, there was a situation where safety was a major concern. The process engineer had designed redundant control strategies, and the instrumentation team had to ensure that the backup sensors and alarm systems were perfectly integrated. I've seen that by working closely together, both teams could design a system that not only met technical requirements, but also provided robust safety measures. It's those moments of combined expertise that really highlight the power of both cooperation and collaboration. Ultimately, whether it's sharing technical data or brainstorming solutions to unexpected challenges, I've found that the interaction between process and instrumentation disciplines is essential. By knowing when to simply share information and when to dive into a collaborative problem-solving session, teams can achieve much more together than they ever could alone.